Welcome to Soul Tribe Search Party, your go-to space for real talk, deep reflections, and unfiltered life moments. I'm your host, Breezy, and here we keep it raw, soulful, and authentic. Hit that subscribe button, and let's dive in. Hey Soul Tribe, welcome back to another episode of Soul Tribe Search Party. Today we're diving into a financial classic, Rich Dad's Guide to Investing by Robert Kiyosaki. If you've ever wanted to understand how the wealthy think about money, investing, and financial freedom, this book is a game changer because it is just an overall changing your mindset when it comes to investing in general. It doesn't even matter what exactly you're investing in, okay? In this episode, I'll break down Kiyosaki's key investment principles, share my biggest takeaways, and give you some practical steps to start thinking and investing like the rich. If you've read this book, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you're in my book club, we will definitely continue to deep dive into this book, so stay tuned. So about this book, Rich Dad's Guide to Investing is the third book in the Rich Dad series, following Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Cash Flow Quadrant. This book is all about teaching you how to think like an investor, develop an investor's mindset, and build long-term wealth, okay? I don't know if you guys have read the other two books that are in this series. I have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and honestly, I probably should have did a review on that book first, since I did read that book. I will do that because that is definitely another mindset book. However, my focus in life right now has been investing, and so that is why I dived into this book to start reading it, because I am ready for that step in my life. Kiyosaki explains that true wealth isn't about having a high-paying job, but about acquiring assets that generate passive income. The rich don't work for money, they make money work for them, okay? Okay, that right there is exactly why I am not leaving my house to slave for anybody. That's why in my other episodes, like when I talk about quitting your job and shit like that, it is because of that line right there. And no, they don't necessarily encourage you to quit your job, but it is what it is, okay? So let's get into the core investing here. So concept one, and before I start, the book is in 5 phases, okay? This is a 42 chapter book. It did take me a little over a month to read. I am a mother, so I did try to read a chapter a day, but as I got closer to the end of the book, some of those chapters were so long, I had to break them up. So it just is what it is, okay? I do not apologize. So, concept 1, the difference between the rich and the poor investor. So Kiyosaki says there are 3 types of investors: those who don't invest, those who invest in retirement plans, so that's 401ks, IRAs, and those who create investments. The wealthy fall into the third category because they own businesses, real estate, and cash producing assets. So this section made me reflect on how I view investing. Am I playing it safe, or am I looking for ways to actively grow my wealth? Okay. a takeaway from this is, which investor are you right now? If you're not investing yet, what's stopping you? If you are you investing in ways that give you real financial control? As of right now, from reading the book, I immediately set myself up. Oh, sorry, I got distracted by a notification. But I immediately set myself up with my accounts just to get myself in that mindset, a retirement account, and then just an account that I set up with my own little plan. And then obviously further reading into the book, I understand that it's about investing through your business, but I will not talk about that yet. So yes, I did get myself set up. I used Fidelity, but you guys can use Vanguard, depending on what you like to get into. Some people like to use like cryptocurrency. For cryptocurrency, like Coinbase. I don't know. You do what you want, okay? Concept 2, understanding assets versus liabilities. So one of the biggest lessons from Kiyosaki is that rich acquire assets, while the poor and middle class acquire liabilities they think are assets. True assets put money in your pocket, while liabilities take money out. Okay. And thinking of that, for me saying that, I know that you can probably automatically think of certain things, like when people always get nice cars and shit. You know how black people love to fucking buy shit that we cannot afford. Y'all get y'all taxes and then y'all want to get Balenciagas, and like, we are the number one consumers of shit we do not need, okay? I had to rethink my own financial habits. Are my purchases helping me build wealth, or am I just accumulating things that drain my income? Okay, so, and it's not even necessarily about lowering your expenses, but definitely like live below your means, minimize the extra bullshit until you have your come up, okay? Learn how to start saving for yourself so that you can invest your money properly. Like, even include investing into your financial plan on a monthly basis of expenses, okay? Because that's what I do. So takeaways, take an honest look at your finances. Are you prioritizing assets over liabilities? Start focusing on investments that generate income, not just expenses, okay? And this is going to be the part where you have to start doing your own research. Don't just hop on YouTube and type in, what should I invest in, and then watch 50 different random ass videos of people that just get on there to make content and they're giving you things to invest in. You need to be able to do your own research, which in this book, he does touch on how to begin doing that, okay? But it is going to take some outside help, okay? Which we'll get into later. So, Concept 3, the investor's mindset. Kiyosaki talks about developing a mindset of financial education, risk-taking, and patience. The rich aren't just lucky, they understand money. Learn how to use it wisely. Okay? So this section really hit home. If we don't take the time to learn about money, we'll always be dependent on someone else's financial system. Okay. So, what's one step you can take today to improve your financial education? Reading books like this is a great start, okay? Or any investing book that you choose. This is the one I started with, though. Well, kind of. I read different books, but yeah. Okay. Lessons for everyday life. Okay. Practical steps. Kiyosaki suggests starting small but thinking big. Some ways to start include learning how to read financial statements, investing in income-generating real estate, building or investing in businesses, and expanding financial knowledge through books, courses, and mentors. So I've started applying some of these principles in my own financial journey, and the biggest shift has been focusing on cash flow over just saving money. Okay. And one tool that everybody can use right now, while I was reading this book, went on ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT if she, because I want to call her she, could set up a 30-day boot camp for me to learn about accounting, financials, all those good things, because basically from reading this book, you need to go back to the basics of accounting, but you also need to be able to learn how these things all piece together. Okay, so that is the key step here. Is yes, you will have to do some legwork, but start by learning how to read a financial statement, start practicing with financial statements, write your own financial statement of, what you have going on, okay? Do your research on income generating real estate, okay? Those are REITs, okay? REITs, those are REITs. You can definitely get on whatever app you're using. Go through REITs that you find and read their financial statements, okay? See what dividends they have. Do all that, okay? And then, of course, while you're on there, start building your watch list, so you can kind of have an idea of what businesses you would like to invest in. So, Rich Dad's Guide to Investing opened my eyes to how the wealthy think differently about money. It's not just about how much you make, it's about how you invest it. One of my favorite lines from the book is, "The poor and middle class work for money, the rich have money work for them." This completely changed how I approach financial decisions. Okay, and one of the biggest takeaways is, if there's one thing I learned, it's the financial freedom isn't about luck, it's about education, mindset, and taking action. So, and I wanted to add a couple more points in there too, because honestly, I don't feel like everything I said kind of covered the bulk of what was really in this book. It was mainly just like a general overview. But honestly, with this book being 42 chapters, it has so much to unpack. And also at the same time, he does a lot of storytelling, because if you've read, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he does talk a lot about the mindset of Rich Dad versus Poor Dad. He brings up his quadrant again, if you're familiar with the quadrants that he likes to use as an example. But basically, he showed us that breaking the quadrant down from Rich Dad's point of view is, so the quadrant is in 4 sections: the E as in echo, the S as in Sam, the B as in boy, and the I as in igloo, to which the E stands for employee, the S is for like small businesses, the B is for the bigger corporation businesses, okay? And then the I is for investing. And so Rich Dad basically encourages the flow of the quadrant being from the B to the I quadrant. And he reflects that Poor Dad operated from the E to the S quadrant, okay? Because that is more so people that are along the lines of, go to school, get good grades, and secure a job with good benefits, which is great. That's what some people do. However, I find myself more on the side of Rich Dad's point of view, because I do operate more in a risky era or whatever. I lean in more on the risky side. And so I want to be able to create a business to which I will have money to play with and invest from that business. Okay. Another good concept that he had brought up in the book that I did not mention is when he talks about what side of the coin you're on, okay? Because he talks about people that are stuck in that mindset of not enough money, and then you have people that have too much money, okay? And you definitely want to stay away from those people that are small-minded, and they say things like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, and like, oh, we don't have McDonald's money, stuff like that, because the bottom line of this book is basically just trying to teach you how to get out of that mindset and to stop moving small. And I would definitely suggest that you do read the book so that you can actually fully understand these concepts, because I think that I gave like a broad overview, and I truly cannot give you all the content unless I'm sitting here going through each and every chapter, to which that can be hard to do because, like, honestly, in some of the chapters he is more so storytelling, and it's good storytelling because it gets you in the right mindset to understand like where he dumbs himself down to our level, to which, we were all starting from this same spot, okay? And it's about what rooms you get in. It's about the people that you network with. But you can't play small, okay? And ultimately, like, what I had mentioned earlier about using your business to invest, because once you understand the concept of like having more money to play with, because that's basically what he covers in the book, is obviously, these people are not just flat out just rich, because they saved all their money. You know how your mom or whatever just be like, oh, I'm gonna save my money up until blah, blah, blah. No, because the thing is, you're going to be trying to save money forever. Really, the concept is that you put yourself in situations to be able to build and play with more money. And that's when you start to open up businesses and you learn how to be one of those people that is able to create opportunities from being in your creativity bag, and then from there, you got your business credit. You're able to dabble in more money because you have loans and credits that you can invest with. And of course, you don't want to be reckless with everything. And that's where this book comes in and teaches you about the different kind of investors. But yeah, just the concept of being able to use your business to leverage more money, which in turn can help you pay that back and get yourself out of the rat race. So it's a very great book that breaks down, the basics of that. So I do have some discussion questions for you guys, and that is, what was your biggest takeaway from this book? Do you see yourself shifting toward an investor's mindset? And which asset class interests you the most? Real estate, stocks, business ownership, and why? Okay, and then you can definitely leave a comment with your answers if you would like, or honestly, you can just answer it to yourself and not engage with me at all, I guess. So share your thoughts with me on social media, or if you would like to join our book club. We have had people reach out that have wanted to read books with us, and honestly, us is me. I am Soul and Tribe Search Party. But honestly, I have just let myself read different books with different people. Because I don't know how to bring everybody together to read one book because I am diving into different things with different people. So that's just where I'm at with it, okay? And if you haven't read Rich Dad's Guide to Investing, grab a copy. I will have a link for that book in my bio, and start thinking like an investor today, okay? Today we explored Kiyosaki's core investing principles, understanding assets versus liabilities, shifting from a consumer mindset to an investor mindset, and taking control of our financial future. Financial freedom isn't reserved for the few. It's available to those who are willing to learn, take risk, and invest in themselves. Start today, please. Okay? Next month, I will, for next month's episode, I have no idea what book I will be diving into. I apologize. I apologize, but stay tuned for an announcement in my book club. Yes. Until next time. That's a wrap for today's episode. If this resonated with you, don't forget to follow, share, and connect with me on YouTube, TikTok, and my website can be found in my bio. Let's keep the convo going.